Hey, hello, how's everybody doing today? Question here. Question time. Hey Mark, how you doing? I have a two-part question. Did you get a feeling the days before you won the lottery? I know your story when you bought your car through winning the Fantasy 5 in Florida and you used manifestation and visualization to bring it into reality. But did you have a feeling prior to winning? Second part, Mark, can you share with us some things you learned about life that we are not aware of that could help us? Yes. All right, so I'll answer the first part of the question. Keep those questions coming. First part of the question is, did I get a feeling I was close to winning? And the answer was, when I think about it now, back then I think about it, and the answer is yes. I did get a feeling. Because, as you know, the day I bought my winning ticket, I was in the worst mood. It was a bad day. It was raining. I didn't feel like playing. I didn't want to buy my ticket. But the voice just kept telling me, hey, stick with your habit. Go buy your ticket. You're yourself. And I bought the ticket. And the day when the sign I knew I had won, because I felt this release that I've never felt before. I felt so unattached. I felt like it's like my mind closed everything off and I didn't care anymore. Back then I didn't know that was a feeling, but now I'm looking back, it's a feeling of winning. So the feeling when something's going to manifest for you, you're going to feel totally detached. You're going to feel like you don't care, you don't really want it anymore. I mean, it's still in your mind, but it's like, I don't care if I get it or I don't get it. I did my best. I did what I'm supposed to do. It was a feeling like that. So I was really, really at ease, and I was just going through my days and doing my thing, and then I would stick to my routine. I'd check my tickets every couple weeks, or sometimes I'd go a month before checking them. And I just continue my regular routine, check my tickets, and that time in a regular routine, I check the tickets, and the machine says, top prize, claim that lottery, and then the dream manifested. And I got the money, I bought my car, and the rest, as I say, is history. Okay, the next thing, Mark, what do you learn about life that you can share through this journey? I learned quite a few stuff. I'm going to share it with you. It's very powerful, so pay attention. This will definitely help you to change your life. The first thing I learned is that your best days are actually still ahead of you. You haven't loved your best yet. You haven't got your best relationship yet. You haven't formed your best memories yet. You haven't got your best experiences. They are still ahead of you. I'm going to explain it for you in a minute. Why is that happening? And the next thing I learned about life, your past cannot and does not define who you are now. So let's break them down and show you something about how this stuff works. So, our minds do a great job of giving us a false picture. When I was doing this and coming up, I used to get, as your journey go along, people are going to hate. I call them bots. So they're like, Mark, this guy's just a scam. This guy's a con. And all this stuff, when I won the lottery, I said, hey, you didn't win the lottery, even though it was public information. They could go search it up. Fantasy 5, this guy won the Fantasy 5. See, there it is. All that. No, this guy is a scam, a con. So you know what? I got something to tell you, people. Guess what? They're right. I am a scam. I am a con. But here's the difference. I'm scamming you, and I'm conning you to live your best life, to believe in yourself, to be your best version, to learn the secrets of the universe, to create the life that you desire, just like I scammed and conned myself into winning the lottery, buying my dream car, learning how your universe works, and putting it in my practical terms of my life. So if that's a scam and a con, yeah, I'm doing it. But here's something else. They've been doing it to you. You've been getting scammed and conned your whole life by the system, by the matrix. The opposite. They've been scamming you and conning you to not live your best life, to don't believe in yourself, to da-da-da-da-da-da. That's what it does. Your brain is a subjective world. Now, the next thing you gotta understand, guys, is your past. If you're regretting your past life, or whatever it is in your life, you're regretting it, you're robbing yourself from the present moment. The past is gone. It doesn't exist. It's not here. Your past is a teaching moment and a part of your journey. That's all it is. Don't regret. Don't hate. Don't say, man, if I wish I'd done this, I wish I couldn't do that. Because the simple fact, in quantum mechanics, and we learn about entropy. Entropy is a state from order to disorder. The universe, the multiverse, you are constantly changing. You're not the same person, the same being. The past is done. That's correct. One me for you says that. The past is done. So people, if you are living in your past and regretting your past, you're missing your best days. It's your mind's grabbing you. If people are reminding you of your past, they're bringing up your past, ignore them. Let it go. They don't define who you are. They're living in a subjective world, and you're living in your own subjective world. See how that works? The next thing I learned, and I think this one is very, very controversial, but take it from me. I've been there. You know, I grew up in the church, and I read the Bible, and I learned everything in the Bible. But there was one thing that I could not understand. And it was why every time I went to church and I came back from church, I would feel less good when I went to church. I'd feel guilty. I'll feel lower. My self-esteem would be low. It's like, isn't this supposed to build me up, right? The church and all that stuff, right? Isn't it supposed to make me a better person and build me up? Then, when I was a kid, man, I watched my pastor, right? This guy used to come to the church in the freshest car, the nicest car, and I was a very observant kid. He would have the best car, the best clothes, and everybody in the congregation would be struggling. I said to my mom one time, I said, Mom, ask her, I said, why are we going to church, or why are we giving him money? My mom says, you're giving God money. I said, we're not giving God money, we're giving that guy the money. My mom said, be quiet. So I was quiet. But I tell you what, that lingered in my mind over and over. And as time went on, I started to learn science, neuroscience, quantum physics. And I figured out everything. I was like, man, they made all that stuff up. It's a business. There is no God that sits on a throne, Mark. I was like, what? I said, you go prove it and test it for yourself, man. He says, the only God is the God that's within me. You are the God. You're the God particle. Your whole consciousness, everything, you're part of that whole being. And that God does not judge you, brother. It does not say you're right or wrong. It's a field of high intelligent conscious information. And it gives you what you focus on, man. That was so groundbreaking. And I said, okay, if this is true, let me go ahead and see if I can deliberately, architecturally create my life by design. And I studied and I did all that stuff, and then I got to the point where, of course, I wanted to get the car, and then the lottery came, and I said, okay, so if I'm this God that's in me, that's everywhere, then I should be able to win the lottery, buy my car, because I'm everything, right? That's what the law says. Guess what? It worked. I did exactly that. So I'm here to tell you to learn something in life, people. You are the God within you. There is no singular man sitting on a throne. And then I went more into the Bible, and I said, oh man, a lot of these Bible verse was heavily redacted. They put a lot of stuff in it to control me, to make me feel a certain way. And I was like, reading all this stuff, I was like, damn, this is crazy. How could people not see this? I was like, how could people not realize this? Because I was there, man. I used to go to church every day. I was a Christian, then I went to be a Jehovah's Witness, and then I became this. I was all of it, man. So what I learned, people, is that your journey is going to put you to be the best that you're supposed to be. Everything you're going to learn and experience is supposed to put you to this point to either teach, to contribute, to change your life, to change humanity, to do something. But it was all there, man. And then I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this stuff. And then there's, so once I discovered this, and I was like, man, how can I show people, how can I teach people and show them this power? And I was like, I can do this. All I have to do is show them through logic, understanding, and science, because that's what people believe. People won't believe me if I go tell them like, hey man, you're this God being. You're very powerful. There's no God in the sky waiting on your prayers. It's you. There's nobody coming to save you. You got to save yourself because you are the God consciousness, everything. I said, man, how are you going to tell people this stuff, bro? They're gonna say, oh, you're an atheist. They're gonna say, oh, you're this. They're gonna say, this guy doesn't know God. All this stuff. And I said, well, what makes people believe something? I said, you know what? What makes people believe something is evidence and proof. So what's the best thing we have? That's kind of irrefutable. Science, quantum physics. So can quantum mechanics show me that I am this God power, this universal being that's existing as a human being? And I was like, oh, it can. In the world of quantum mechanics exist the particles. It's called the field. From the particles and the electron becomes you. There was no beginning and there's no end. We learn that now in the universe. Matter and energy is the same. You cannot create or destroy matter or energy. First law of thermodynamics. The universe has always been here. Our minds can't conceptualize a beginning. We only can see a beginning and an end, but can you conceptualize something that never has a beginning or an end? That's what it is. Everything is you. The atoms in your blood and the iron in your body came from an exploding supernova star, billions of light years. You're everything in this universe. Then there's the power source of the universe, which is your awareness, your consciousness. We know in quantum mechanics there exists a superposition, all states of existence of matter, by an observer, you, the conscious being. If you're observing this, you have direct correlation to help creating it. You're the observer of your subjective world. And I was like, there it is. Then, what is the voice that keeps talking to me? Is that God? That you can call it God if you want, but it's technical terms, it's you. It's your authentic self. It's your true form of your identity. So this voice will talk to me, tell me, give me a dream, show me things. It would even give me the numbers to play. Those will play 4 numbers. I'd win a lot of money in those numbers. I was like, man, this stuff is so cool. Why didn't I do this before? How can I teach people to do this? Just go out there and start showing people and let them open themselves and try it for themselves. And that's what I started doing. Every single human being have this being, or this, what you call it, power. It's your authentic self. It talks to you into your intuition. It helps you, it motivates you, shows you things. Many of you have dreams and you see things and you prevent it and all. That's coming from you, your authentic self. And science is actually in line with this, because in the laws of physics, we now know that there are more than one different dimensions. And we now know that the physical is created by the spiritual, which is the non-physical. The true form of reality is the unseen to the seen eye. It is the invisible forces that our senses cannot detect, because we're so limited in a 3-dimensional perspective world we live in. We are blinded by the true nature of reality by our own senses. This is why you can't trust and listen to your own mind. That's the next thing I learned about this. All your mind is telling you, the negative stuff that won't happen, it's a bunch of BS. Your mind is lying to you. You have the power to change your world by changing your thoughts and your behavior. That's the next thing I learned. Like, if I change my behavior, I will change my world. If I act as if, I will get what I want. If I think from the state of being what I want to be, it will come into me. Don't think of your desires. Think from your desires. Oh, what does that guy mean by that? Thinking of your desires is taking you away from it. Thinking from your desires is putting you in it, entangled with it. An example of thinking from your desires is acting as if, feeling what it would feel like to have it. That's thinking from. Thinking of your desires is hoping I'll get it. What if it doesn't work? Maybe it will work. It doesn't work like that. See how that works? The next thing you have to understand, people, is you are unique in your own perception to manifest. Emotions, they play a crucial part in the creative process to bring things into your world. Whenever you create anything, let me give you the first secret rule you have to, it's not a secret rule, but here it is, man. You have to be able to see what you want. Either you can see it in your head, in your imagination, or you have to write it down, or you have to feel it. Now, for some individuals, if you get excited when you're visualizing something, that's your body's way of saying yes. If you don't get excited when you're visualizing something, that's also your body's way of saying yes. What you have to remember, guys, you don't have to force emotions to create something in your life. Your body has tons of emotions that you can't detect. Only when you see something in your mind and it feels normal, whether it feels exciting to you, that may be normal to you. If it doesn't feel, that's the secret to all of this. But the biggest one, and I teach this a lot, that's why I'm teaching people and getting everybody to understand, the biggest thing I learned about all that is, in order for me to get whatever I want, I have to convince a part of my mind that I didn't even know existed that I already have it. What's the part of my mind? You all know this. You know it exists, but when you were a kid, you didn't know anything about this. What is the part of your mind that exists right now that you that have 98% control over your life? Can anybody tell me what's the part of their mind called? What is it? What is it called? What is the part of your mind? It's not your conscious mind. There it is. Your subconscious. Maxine 4169. Got it. Not the ego, the subconscious part of mine. So when I learn that, then not only I learn that, but I also learn something powerful about my subconscious part of my mind. I used to think that I knew that my subconscious might create my world, but I used to think that I had to impress my subconscious mind with a lot of emotions to manifest what I wanted. I thought that I had to, because they say, the subconscious is an emotional mind, which is correct. It is an emotional mind. So I was like doing all type of emotional stuff. I was like, real big, deep emotions. I was all that, man, I was doing all of that stuff. But there's one thing that was funny about it. It seemed like the more emotions I put in, the more resistance I would get. And I was scratching my head. I was like, but all these teachers are telling me I have to put these emotions, man. There's something I'm missing. Something I'm missing. So I went back to my drawing board and I consulted with my higher self. And I say, hey, what am I missing here, higher self, to this formula to change my life? What's the thing I'm missing? Scratching my head there. And then one day, it came to me. And listen, this is a true story. One day, I'm sitting there. I had my TV on. And this guy was talking. It's on YouTube. He kept saying this. He was saying something. He says, man, you got to make it normal, man. It's a normal thing, brother. That's what he kept saying. You got to make it normal, man. It's a normal thing. The light went off. Mark, you have to make the things you want normal, like they're supposed to be a part of your life. You cannot make them extraordinary. You got to make them ordinary. It's like, oh my goodness. That's the missing link to this stuff. I was trying to make something like a fantasy or big. And I thought about it. I said, go back in your life, man. Look at all the stuff that happened. It was normal. I said, even go deeper, man. Mark, think about some of the stuff you wanted. You really wanted it really bad, right? But after a while, you couldn't get it. So what happened? You didn't really want it anymore. You kind of let it go. And guess what? You got it. The reason you got it, because it was normal. You didn't put any high emotions. You just made it a normal thing. You made it like getting up in the morning and drinking some water. Make it feel regular. That's right, Kate. I was like, oh man, this is what I have to do. I have to make this stuff feel regular. So I started to do stuff. I implement my own little techniques to make stuff feel regular to me, and that was the secret. So someone asked me, so okay, to manifest winning the lottery, I don't have to overreact. You never overreact about anything. It's just regular, normal thing to me. I would play my tickets and everything, and I got to the point where I was like, this is going to happen, or the universe got something better for me. That's how I looked at it. So that was normal. So it means I can't lose. Either way, I'm going to win. I'm going to get the car this way, I'm going to get it that way. If I win the lottery, fine. If I don't, the money will come from some. I was like, it's a normal thing for me to get whatever I desire or I want, so to speak. And that's some of the most powerful things I've learned to manifest. There you have it. So these are some things that you can learn. Keep that in mind, guys, and do it. Now, remember, the normality creates the physical experience, and you will get everything you desire. Got it? Cool. Now, guys, you know, I have my mentorship program, right, for years. You guys have been telling me, Mark, you need to help more people advertise it better. So here it is. You can now sign up for my mentorship program. I'll put the link below in the description or pinned comments. And I can help you and coach you to manifest whatever you want, the best life you want, things you want to change in life, success. Now you can get it. All right? So thank you again, and I will see you guys next time.